Today we are going to discuss about fiscal year variant, assign company code to fiscal year variant. So first we'll discuss about fiscal year variant. So can you please note it down about fiscal year variant now? Fiscal year variant in SAP defines the start and end of the financial year and how it's split into posting periods. Next point, it can follow a calendar year, example Jan to December, or a non-calendar year, example April to March. Next point, SAP allows up to 12 normal periods and 4 special periods in an fiscal year. In fiscal year, it contains the calendar year and non-calendar year. What is meant by calendar year and what is meant by non-calendar year? Please note it down about calendar year. Calendar year, example January to December, as SAP predefined variant code K4. Calendar year, example January to December, as SAP predefined fiscal year variant K4. Next point under calendar year only. SAP supports this by default January to December, comma, no need for manual period assignment if we are following calendar year fiscal year. No need for manual period assignment if we are following the calendar year fiscal year. Next point, each new fiscal year is generated automatically. That means now we are in 2026. By default, system will generate. Next year, 2027, system will automatically generate that fiscal year. Subsequently, system will generate that respective fiscal year. Okay, next point. It is easy to maintain and configure in the system. Next heading, non-calendar year, example April to March, as SAP predefined fiscal year variant code V3. What is meant by non-calendar year? Note down the points about non-calendar year. Periods must be manually mapped. Example, as per our Indian financial year, which period to which period? Can you please tell me what is our financial year?
April to March.
Correct. So, as per our financial year, April to March, that means April is the first period, right? And next year, March period is the last period, as per our Indian financial year, right? As per our Indian accounting standards, our fiscal year starts from April to March. In current year, April is the first period. Next year, March is last period. That is the reason periods must be manually mapped. If we are following the non-calendar year, we have to map whatever the periods, the start period and end period, we have to map manually. Are you getting my point? That is the meaning of first point. Please note it down. Next point, it requires custom configuration sometimes, but mostly we can follow the same as per the SAP standard functionality. So SAP predefined fiscal year V3, fiscal year variant V3 bracket April to March. SAP predefined fiscal year variant V3. Now you have a question. Do we need to follow V3 fiscal year variant if we are following the Indian accounting standards or Indian accounting books? Yes, we can follow the V3. If you want to create your own fiscal year variant, we can create our own fiscal year variant. Both is possible in SAP system. Already SAP predefined fiscal year is available. If you want to copy, you want to create a new fiscal year variant code, we can create. Otherwise, we can follow same as it is SAP predefined fiscal year variant V3. Next point, please note it down. For each fiscal year, mappings must be maintained and adjusted if needed. If any adjustment needed, we can adjust. Otherwise, we can follow the same as it is. Next, you can note it down. There is, and also it contains, we can define two ways, like year dependent or year independent fiscal years. So can you please note it down? Year independent fiscal year. How do we know? And everything I will show you in this system. Okay, please note it down. Year independent heading, and please note it down. What is the meaning and what is the purpose of year independent fiscal year? Year independent. Please note it down. In year independent, in year independent, periods remain same every year. Periods remain same every year. Once defined year independent fiscal year. So for this meaning, once we create the independent fiscal year, the same fiscal year we can use in subsequent years. No need to create a new fiscal year variant. Okay, that is the meaning of this particular point. SAP uses them for all years. Next point, once created independent fiscal year, comma, SAP uses for all years or subsequent years. For example, you can note down April to March is our fiscal year, right? The same fiscal year we can use in every year. For example, April to March, the same fiscal year we can use in every year. So next heading, year dependent. In year dependent fiscal year, periods can change every year. That means we need to define dependent fiscal year for each fiscal year separately. That is nothing but, for example, so we are in a current year as our fiscal year, right? So next year we need to define. Then after next year we need to define. Whenever new year is comes, we need to define a new fiscal year if we are following the year dependent fiscal year. That means what is the exactly meaning of year dependent fiscal year? So what is the differences between independent fiscal year and dependent fiscal year in practically? So independent fiscal year, we followed the calendar months, calendar year, where the start date and end date should be the same and number of periods should be the same in the independent fiscal year. In dependent fiscal year, we are not following the start date and end date might be changed. For example, so January month, January 1st is the first date and January 31st is the last date. My business or our business, they won't follow the first date and last date. They want to follow January month as January 15th to February 14th is nothing but January month. The start date January 15th and end date February 14th is nothing but dependent fiscal year, where business wants to go their own periods. That is nothing but dependent fiscal year. Are you understand? Example for independent fiscal year and dependent fiscal year. Are you clear?
Yes, bro.
So that is the differences between independent fiscal year and dependent fiscal year. Where independent fiscal year, the moment once we create the independent fiscal year, that can be applicable for subsequent years. In case of where you want to follow the dependent fiscal year, then it is not same as these our calendar months, where the start date and end date other than the calendar month, where business wants to follow their own calendar periods, then in that case we can follow the dependent fiscal year. So most of the businesses, they won't follow the dependent fiscal year. If they are following the dependent fiscal year, we have to configure that in the system as well. So I hope you understand this particular concept. So we can go to the SAP system now. Let's log in SAP system. So note down the path SPRO. Click on SAP reference IMG, financial accounting, global settings, fiscal year and posting periods, maintain fiscal year variant, and click on maintain fiscal year variant. Please note it down step by step. Click on position, give V4 or V3. Basically we have to follow V3. So V3 someone disturbed in the system, so we are following V4. Okay, just give V4, press enter, select V4, select V4 fiscal year variant code, and click on copy as, and click on copy as, change the fiscal year variant code F3, change the fiscal year variant code F3, press enter, press enter. It will show the pop-up copy all. Click on copy all. Number of dependent entries copied 12. 12 means 12 periods. 12 entries copied. Click on continue. Are you following me?
Yes, yes, bro.
Just click on continue. Number of entries copied 1 successfully. F3 we have created now. Click on save. Click on save. Click on continue. Click on continue. Select our fiscal year variant and observe our periods. Now if you can see here, month 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, how it is coming. Let's open the Excel sheet. How many periods do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have total number of months, 12 months, 12 periods. Okay. So In January, how many days we have? 31 days.
31.
And February, 28 or 29, right? 28, assume. In March period, how many days? 31 days. April, 30 days. May, 31 days. June, 30 days. July, 31 days. August, 31 days. September, 30 days. October, 31 days. November, 30 days. December, 31 days. So this is a calendar months. This is nothing but months. Okay, this is calendar days. This is nothing but calendar days. So as per our F3 fiscal year, F3 fiscal year variant, if we can see here, what is our first period? This is as per our Indian accounting financial year, right? Indian accounting financial year. What is the first period?
April.
April. April is 1. May is 2, 3, right? So this is nothing but till here. This is nothing but how do we consider as a fiscal year? There is a 2 years are there. So this is nothing but a current year. This is nothing but a next coming future year. Okay, two types of periods involved in our fiscal year variant. So if you can see here, so April period is first period, right? So number of periods, this is nothing but 2026 year. This is nothing but 2027. Okay, 2027. Here, how do you consider there is a 2 fiscal years involved in this particular fiscal year variant? So the number of periods belongs to which year? In 2027 there is only 3 periods. 2026 there is a 9 periods. Which year we have a more periods?
2026.
Yeah, that is the reason we can call as a 2026 fiscal year. Okay, number of periods is having which year is more, that year we can call as a fiscal year. 2026 is our fiscal year. So the same thing is available here. You can see here. Now you can observe. You see, fourth period is 1 April, 30 days. This is days, calendar days. This is months. So as per our Excel, the same thing. Now you understand whatever the information is showing here in our SAP system. You see 1, 2, 3 like this. So now there is a year shift indicators will be there. Year shift. What is the purpose of year shift? Now let's discuss about year shift. So if we are in a current fiscal year, that should be equal to 0. Okay. This is nothing but periods. So now what is our fiscal year? 2026,
26.
right? We are in a current fiscal year 2026. Example, assume. So 0. So in next year, there is a 3 periods are there. This is January in 2027, February and March will be there. So this is a next year, right? So how to include the next year 3 periods in 2026 fiscal year? So we can give -1. So how it is coming? So 2026 minus 2027. What will be the value? -1. You see, if we wanted to include the future 3 periods in the current year, so we are getting the -1. So -1. That means these 3 periods, even though it is coming under 2027, this will be adding to our fiscal year 2026, like 1 to 12 periods. These periods we have to give 10, 11 and 12. This is the 12 periods. How we are going to update here. If you want to create your own fiscal year variant, what we can do is the same thing we can copy and we can paste here. Or else you can copy as SAP predefined in the system and you can assign to our respective company codes. Are you understand this concept? Anybody have any questions? Okay, if there is no questions, go back. Now this is for our Indian accounting fiscal year. So click on K4 and observe Jan to December fiscal year. Like there are so many fiscal years will be there, and you can observe as per the SAP predefined different fiscal years will be there, and we can observe those fiscal years. It's purely depends on the business year. It's purely business on business requirement and business process which we need to configure or build in the system. So select K4. If you select, you observe this always this will follow whenever we wanted to follow Jan to December. This should be calendar fiscal year. If we follow the calendar year fiscal year, by default no need to specify any periods. You see, periods cannot be maintained for calendar dependent fiscal year variants. By default, system calendar it will follow. We no need to specify any periods for K4 if business wants to follow January to December, whatever we discussed in initial. Okay, so in case of non-calendar year, we need to specify the periods manually. In case of calendar year, we no need to specify any periods here. There is a period text will be there, that also we need to observe. Select our fiscal year variant F3 and select this and click on period text. This is just text about that periods. Okay, there is no text language and periods and text. Which language we need to maintain that respective period related text we can maintain. It's purely business requirement, we can maintain this. Okay, so this is our fiscal year variant creation. Next step, please note down. Next step, assign company code to fiscal year variant. Transaction code OB37. Note down the path SPRO, IMG, financial accounting, financial accounting global settings, ledgers, fiscal year and posting periods. Under assign company code to a fiscal year variant. Click on assign company code to a fiscal year variant. Have you noted down the path? Can you please confirm?
Yes, Prabhu.
Click on assign company code to a fiscal year variant. Now we are getting in change mode. Click on position. What is our company code? JB01. Just click on enter. Give our fiscal year variant F3. F3 enter. Assign fiscal year variant April to March F3. Just press enter and click on save. Save. The fiscal year variant also one of the variant principle. So this can be created at client level. This fiscal year variant we can assign to the multiple company codes based on the business requirement. Okay. Anybody have any questions till now?